Welcome everyone to the What's Left podcast. My name is John. I'm here with Brad. Jake has the night off to help prep for a wedding. Iran is days away from a nuclear weapon. Trump will take immediate action in 2 weeks. Obama calls on rich libs to be principled. The Senate bill has even more Medicaid cuts, codifies parts of Elon's Doge effort, expands food assistance cuts, but adds tax breaks for private jets. Asbestos regulations are repealed. World leaders mock Trump at the G7. More courts rule against Trump's actions, including one Reagan-appointed judge who called it the most racist order he had ever seen. But hey, we got two monster flagpoles at the White House. It's another week's worth of turds, and it's time to find out the worst of the week. Thing. All right, Brad. I think collectively we're going to talk about this bill. So let's start there. Let's start with the budget bill. I mentioned some of it. You want to? Do you want to jump? You want me to lead it off? Or you want to jump in?
You go ahead. You start with this one because I'm not as well versed in the Senate version of the bill yet, to be honest.
Okay, so the Senate version of the bill came back, and it is even more draconian, especially in the Medicaid department, specifically in ways. Oops, hold on one second. I just fucked all that up. It is even more fucked up than the House version, specifically in ways that will hurt, say, things like rural hospitals. It expands it deepens the cuts to things like food assistance, adds work requirements. The one thing it did do is it did raise. Remember that the age for children, work requirements for children was 8 years old. They raised that back up to 14.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's nice. That was nice.
wow. The humanitarians.
You're right. Pro-life, baby. It also and this is the crazy. So also added a bunch of like other stuff that this bill is supposed to be reconciliation, and the only way that they can get it through the Senate is if it is reconciliation, because a reconciliation bill does not require a supermajority to pass, because technically it's just advancing the budget. But extra budgetary things added to the bill change that fact. And so the parliamentarian would rule on that and would tell them whether or not they have to, if they can pass it as a reconciliation bill or not. Some of the things that they've added though are things like they've like repealing the machine gun ban, which is absolutely fucking bananas. Like as violence gets crazier, like that's what they want to do. So just more of that stuff. I actually have a video here though, and here's like 6 things that are in this part of the bill. We're not in the last one, and are.
Yesterday was insane. So much happened, but what didn't really get covered was one of the cruelest bills ever to be put on the floor of the House of Representatives passed. The bill is a rescission bill. It makes permanent about $10 billion in Doge cuts. These are cuts that Elon Musk and Donald Trump and others in the administration, the billionaires, want. This bill is a legitimate example of how billionaires are now running the government, the world's richest people, and they are taking it out on the country's and the world's poorest children. Here are the 6 ways that this bill, if it were to pass the Senate, will hurt, if not kill, children and families. Number 1, the bill slashes $4.5 billion in humanitarian programs for children. Globally, this means that 40 million children will no longer have school. Hunger will spread, and at least 3.6 million children will go without clean water. Number 2, another $800 million in permanent cuts to children and families fleeing violence. Number 3, a $300 million cut to family planning services.
I just want to point that out. That last one. Let's go back. $800 million from children and families fleeing violence. They are the pro-domestic abuse, pro-abuse party. They keep doing shit like this, Brad.
Mm-hmm. It's the same way with getting rid of no-fault divorces.
Exactly. They're so one note. It's laughable if it wasn't so vile. You know?
To children and families fleeing violence. Number 3, a $300 million cut to family planning services, 48 million people will be affected, and it could lead to 34,000 maternal deaths.
Pro-life party. Gonna cut family planning. Fucking amazing.
Because they think the only money that's cutting from is from women having access to healthcare, women having access to contraceptives, women having access to abortions. That's what they think they're doing.
If there
They
is
don't,
potential that it would pay for one condom, then there's no way they support it.
for sure.
Yeah.
Number
Because how would they
4, they're
continue to build
cutting
the
permanently
workforce?
400.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How would they continue to build the workforce if they weren't forcing people to have children?
Right. And what would make them want to work for nothing if they had stuff?
Right.
You know.
Number 4, they're cutting permanently $400 million in one of the most successful HIV/AIDS programs ever. This program has saved over 25 million lives. 8 million babies were born HIV-free because of this. Number 5,
It's not the only HIV treatment they've cut either. They're also cutting the new shot too. So I mean, they're really just.
Here's my thing. I understand by no stretch of the imagination have we eradicated the AIDS virus, but we have done an incredible job through research of stopping the spread of the AIDS virus. There's no argument with that. It is very clear that we have stopped the spread of the AIDS virus. And they are just like, actually, let's stop funding that bullshit because there are children in Iran that need bombed.
Yeah. 75% of this budget goes to the military and the DoD. And I almost made this church strictly about the DoD. Because if you want to talk about the wasteful slush fund that is the Department of Defense, this is it. Remember, that's where he got the money from his wall last time because he was able to hide it in that defense budget. Even though he couldn't get Congress to approve his wall, he hid it in his defense budget and then used military funds to build his little fucking section of fence along the border. So that's, I mean, what you can do pretty much anything you want with it. Sam Altman gave $1 million at the inauguration. Just received a $200 million contract for OpenAI. What it's for? Yeah, whatever. For AI related nonsense. But $200 million. So pretty good return on investment, right? And where does it come
Oh,
from? The Department of Defense. Department of bombing small children in hospitals.
could you imagine getting a 200x return on any investment you've made in your life?
Christ, no. I used to. I mean, I used to actively seek out that parlay, but it never hits.
The next one's the best one, baby.
The
Do
next
it
one,
again.
do it again. You got to run that shit back. If I had
Right.
just gotten the right tennis match, it's tough. It's tough out there. You never know.
Number 5, over a $435 million cut to programs that provide medicine, vaccines, and other supports to children all over the world. Number 6, they're cutting PBS.
Fuck you. Fuck you for that one. What the actual fuck? What kind of goddamn? I don't want to call them a monster because monsters are the awesome things that are, the Muppets. Like lots of the Muppets are monsters. These people are fucking garbage. They are trash. They're the thing that Oscar shits on. They are
What do they
fucking
think that PBS is teaching our children? Like acceptance, empathy,
love. Yeah.
yeah,
Teaching.
letter sounds.
Brad, it doesn't matter what they're teaching. That they're teaching, that's the problem in and of itself. Because you cannot possibly be any form of awareness and still vote for this. You can't be any kind of educated and think these people have my best interest in mind. Right? Like this is nuts. They increase the defense budget and tell you there's no money for fucking PBS. 1.1 billion. This this budget, they're spending $1 trillion, $1.1 trillion for now. Probably will go up before this thing's all said and done on the defense side of the budget. Trillion. That is 1,000 billion dollars. $1,000 billion. one of those $1,000 billion to provide free television entertainment to kids. Imagine being poor and not being able to afford, Daniel Tiger or whatever, and not having Daniel Tiger, I mean, to help like babysit your child. Like that's just not right. And plus, it's like one of the only things left, a source for people to get unbiased, unfiltered news too, like the PBS NewsHour, World News. It's one of the best educational systems, not just for kids but for adults. So to cut PBS is fucking trash. It is the most Philistine thing you can do. You're just an uncultured piece of shit country at this point. Like we are really just hurtling towards being just an absolute garbage heap.
We're just regressing so quickly, and they're like all for it. Like, take us back to the old days.
Yeah,
Yeah, Grandpa. Well, you guys are all illiterate, so maybe not.
Christ Almighty. You know, there's a certain like I hear a lot of pundits like this is good. Like the people need to understand what they voted for. Some of the stuff needs to happen. Man, listen, I don't need to die of dysentery for them to figure this shit out. You know what I mean? Like you all are gonna have to just be smarter than this. This shouldn't have to be this way. 1.1 billion for public broadcast.
Sesame Street, meaning that kids here will go without the early learning and other education programming that PBS provides. Not only will this hurt children and families, some of whom will die, this undermines our.
I'm not sure how they're gonna die from lack of PBS.
Me either. Buddy, take it easy. Come back off the ledge, brother. Come back
Yeah,
to
this
come
whole
on.
video, he sat down, he's got the thing, it's very, I mean, I don't know how to guess that he's pouring out the facts, but, you know,
Yes.
got caught up there a little bit.
Role in the world. This makes the world and us less safe because when we leave these places, one of our adversaries will fill the void. It barely had the votes in the House. Hopefully, the Senate will kill this bill.
He's not wrong about that. In fact, our adversaries have already filled these voids. I don't even call them adversaries. Other countries have filled these voids and do immediately. You take the assets, like I was saying the other day, like it behooves us to be the leader in these things because diplomacy is far more effective than war. It always is. Like when you spread goodwill, you end up with better returns on investment than you do when you just bomb a fucking country. We're still paying for the Iraq war because we still have to pay for all the damage that we did, for all the lives that we took, for all the trauma that we caused. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Did you know who has universal health care and fucking 38 billion of our dollars every year? Fucking Israel.
Fucking Israel.
So, you know, maybe just quit giving money to that fucking Philly's finest over there, Benjamin Netanyahu, and like, there's a big chunk of your budget right there.
Israel's got universal health care. They have nuclear weapons.
Free
And all
college
we're doing is
education.
cutting fucking public broadcasting television.
Yep,
Because
because Americans can't afford it.
got to make sure we can fund the war machine, brother. The war machine don't stop.
War machine does not stop. I I kind of speculate that maybe this has something to do with the fact that we're no longer providing weapons to Ukraine, right? So like production has dropped.
Right.
Beast needs fed.
The beast needs fed. They're not willing to just not make money.
No, and those are all red states, man. That's all red state. All most of those factories, red states. Best job. Some of those, I forget which states it is, but some of them are. That's like it's like their only thing. Their only thing is weapons manufacturing.
Oh yeah. Business is booming, bro.
Always.
We just keep letting Israel blow people up.
Yeah. Fucking unbelievable. Yes, this budget bill is worse. Some of the tax breaks that people were looking for were still there, but also they're speculating taking those away too. Um, they did uh, increase the child tax credit slightly. It's like $2,200 now in perpetuity instead of 28 for 10 years.
Yeah.
So they lessened it but increased it also. So it's going to be more than it was, but less than what the House had passed. Your deduction has gone up which is cool. That should have happened anyway. Like the deduction for middle class people should be fine. But all you
Mhm.
really have to do is just eliminate the tax cuts for billionaires. People who have over $1,000 million several times over should be taxed into. I mean, it
Oblivion.
doesn't matter. There's nothing. There's nothing to make them uncomfortable. They can never possibly spend that money. They didn't acquire it ethically. It's
Here's
unbelievable.
the thing: is that I've been thinking about how the money works and the billionaires and all this stuff, and they obviously don't have all this money in cash. But if they were forced to sell the assets in which total this amount,
Yeah,
no one could produce it. Like no one could cash Jeff Bezos out tomorrow. No one could cash Elon Musk out tomorrow if they sold out
that's a good point.
because the money's just not there. It doesn't exist.
That's a good point.
So these people are held up on a, you know what I mean? Like you could not if they said if America decided tomorrow, I want to see it in cash. They could not produce that money no matter how hard they tried. They could not show us the wealth of them in cash. Could not. I don't care what they say. Couldn't do it.
No,
Without printing money, there's no way that they could show us their value. Even if they sold off everything tomorrow, there's no way they could get that in cash.
it's true. And all of those assets, the stock market, all of it's highly inflated. Like, it's worth what
It's
it's worth.
ridiculous. That's what I mean. It's ridiculous.
Especially,
Make them sell it out. Sell out. Sell out. Get out of the market.
hmm
And now pay all these taxes.
yeah. This AI thing is another bubble in the market for sure. That is like certainly going to burst. Especially like it's just so ineffective. It's so ineffective, so expensive. If you, I can't imagine like what would the Shark Tank pitch be? Like, okay, so here's the thing. I got this product. Um, it's kind of like Google, but like the same. Also, it takes 1,000 times more energy. I'm gonna need to like build huge farms. I'm going to have to wreck the planet. It's gonna cost trillions of dollars, lives, fresh air, clean water. But I can make a picture of literally anything that comes to my imagination happen almost immediately.
Yep.
You know what? The first thing that I picture is a planet with fucking more green space and less fucking warehouses full of data computers being air conditioned while homeless people sleep outside in the heat. Like that's that's the
You
first picture
fucking
that comes to
radical lefty. You
fucking what a
fucking radical
lunatic.
lefty. Right.
Oh my god. I I'm sorry to our future AI overlords for suggesting that they don't need air conditioning. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. So I mean that's a good summary of the bill. All right, let's talk about what turd you brought to the table this week. What stood out to you?
Cool. So I'm going to leave the federal government alone this week because we have 2 weeks to see what Trump's going to do in Iran, even though our buddy Benny in Israel said pretty much imminent danger.
Yeah,
Um, uh, Iran's basically just screwing the cap onto the warhead as we speak.
yeah.
But Trump said 2 weeks for sure to see what's going to happen.
Unconditional
Um,
surrender. No. Okay,
yeah.
2 weeks. Fucking negotiator, bro.
Betty said it's imminent. Tulsi Gabbard, Trump's appointee, said in March that they definitely were not producing nuclear weapons, testified in court that they weren't producing weapons. Um, but Benny from Israel says they are, so they're attacking them. So we're going to leave the federal government alone. That was just my one dig on them. Today, we're going to attack the lawmakers in the state of Ohio because unfortunately, my state representatives are literal garbage people. We are simply gerrymandered to death and are unable to get them out of their positions because they've managed to. If you look at our voting districts, it's truly disgusting. If anybody ever looks at the map of the voting districts, please know that it's fucking despicable what they do in Ohio,
Yeah.
just to make sure that they carry the red vote. So I want to make sure that I do not mess up when I talk about this. So I want to be very clear as I'm reading it because I don't want to lie to the people. So, Ohio Republican lawmakers are introducing a bill that would completely ban and criminalize abortion, IVF, and some forms of contraception. Okay, so in the great state of Ohio in 2023, the people showed up to make a constitutional amendment allowing women to have access to health care such as abortion, IVF, and contraception. The people voted. We made a constitutional amendment. We made a constitutional amendment in the state of Ohio to allow women access to health care. And now we have Republican lawmakers in our fucking state Congress that are trying to push a bill to completely ban it after we passed a constitutional amendment. So we have two new members of Congress that are in it. Um, Dean and Newman. Newman is a pastor. They're both freshman lawmakers. Um, when asked, I don't want to say which one said it, but one of them literally said, "We're passing this bill. We're introducing this bill because the will of the people was evil." That was his statement for why they're doing it. He said that
That's
out loud.
incredible.
That's what he said, which is truly insane to me that we can do this. But I need people to understand very I, like this is fucking insane. Let me get back here. We the only thing we have in this whole pick of the litter is our vote. And we
Yeah.
made our voices heard in the state of Ohio, and now we have Republican lawmakers actively trying to work against the will of the Ohio people. Like this is not we voted, bro. Every person that voted in favor of this to become a constitutional amendment should be fucking furious right now.
Yeah.
I know that they weren't marching in the fucking streets for women's rights in Ohio after that. So they're really going to pass this bill that's going to actively go against the will of the people. And they're going to attempt to ban IVF, which I don't understand how you could like so now you don't want people to have babies. I don't or you do want people to have babies. I don't understand that. I just know that they don't know what in vitro fertilization is. I'm just confident in saying that they have no fucking idea what it is, and it sounds way too scientific for them, so they're gonna ban it.
Bro, it's because they believe in the right of those unfertilized eggs. And you have to fertilize several of them to get to a viable one. And the ones that aren't viable, guess what they do, Brad? Throw them away.
It's all way,
And that's an abortion.
brother.
Yeah.
This is this is what happens when you let Christian nationalists infiltrate your government.
This is so big. This is so big. This is the problem. Everywhere we've got these people pushing their fundamental ideas and then complaining about fucking everything they say about fundamental Islam is just them. It's just them. It's just who you are, except you say Jesus instead of Muhammad.
That's it. That's the whole
You're
thing.
just telling on yourself.
The will of the people is evil, and you want to tell people that they're not allowed to do everything in their power to produce a child, to have a child together. You're gonna
Yeah,
tell people that.
yeah.
You're gonna tell a woman that she can't have access to health care. Like, what kind of people are we putting in power? This seems like basic day one stuff. You could go ask a child right now, do you think women should have access to the same health care as everyone else? And they would just say yes, because it's pretty fundamental that you just give them fucking health care.
It is.
It's ridiculous.
This is great because this is going to tie a really nice bow on today. When I bring up what I've got for you. But this bill, this it should be pointed out. Like these people went through a lot of trouble in Ohio. It is not easy. Ohio is one of the states where the people, without the help of their legislators, can write and propose their own bills if they get enough signatures from every single county. So the people literally risked their lives going up to these rural homes, knocking on doors. People they had trouble in certain counties because they were being chased off by dogs and guns. It was a dangerous perspective, and they did this both for legalizing marijuana and for abortion rights. And when we talked on an earlier podcast months ago about how they were slow walking the marijuana bill and not bringing that to fruition, we called this. We said this would happen. We said they would try to repeal this as well. And here we are. That's what they're doing. This is what Republican states do. And the gerrymandering thing, Every Republican state does it. Democratic states do not. We tried to put the Democratic thing on the ballot this year in Ohio as well, try to tie it to the other ones, and it failed miserably to appoint a non-partisan commission to properly gerrymander states. But this is the problem that somebody else brought up on another different podcast, is that this is what Democrats do. They do good governance to themselves to give fucking Republicans seats in places they don't have no business having them,
They
like in
don't belong,
California,
right?
in the Bronx. Like they don't have business having seats in those areas because they don't have a constituency. But fair gerrymandering gives them extra seats in states that don't deserve it. And then their unfair version of gerrymandering in their states gives them all the seats where maybe they deserve some or even most of the seats, but they certainly do not deserve all the ones that they have. Mike Johnson, the most fundamental doomsday prepper nut job of a Christian, has the most safe seat in Louisiana because of that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a Christian, but being a Christian nationalist and using Jesus Christ as some excuse to be a hateful piece of shit is
Not okay.
just unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable to these Zionists like Ted Cruz, who got fucking owned by, and everyone is just so enjoying watching Tucker Carlson just eviscerate him. And not because Tucker Carlson's a good journalist, because he asked some basic follow-up questions that never get asked about Israel, ever, by anyone. But we have people like Ted Cruz who quote who said that his mandate, his reason for supporting Israel comes from the Bible and his Christian faith. And that's why he supports the nation, the modern nation of Israel, because the Bible told him that he needs to support Benjamin Netanyahu.
And the ones killing kids in hospitals and schools. That's the one.
That's what the Bible told him.
Yep.
That's batshit bananas ass crazy. That's that's not a belief system. That's fucking like be committed. There's something wrong with you, right? Because you have to bring back the rapture. Because until the Jews own Israel, then Jesus will come back, condemn them all, except for like what is it, like 144,000 of them to hell, take all the Christians with them. Like you are fucking nuts, nuts for that one. Crazy, absolutely fucking crazy. If God can do whatever He wants to do, He doesn't need you to murder children in His name. Okay. I feel confident. I feel like anybody who speaks for what God knows or does is already fucking a little bit bananas. But I feel pretty confident saying for myself that one thing He's not telling you is to drop indiscriminate bombs on all 36 hospitals in Palestine. Right? I'm pretty sure that's not God. I could be wrong. I don't think I am.
It was the reason the follow up questions were asked by Tucker Carlson is
It's because
because,
he's anti-Semite.
and he's a fucking Russian plant, dude. He's definitely being paid by
100%.
Russia, but you don't see that because our media is not going to ask Ted Cruz that second question. Russia likes to bully Trump in little subtle ways, and this is them doing that with Tucker Carlson,
Yeah.
because Tucker Carlson is just asking the follow up question to the bullshit banana answer that Ted Cruz is going to give you, and then you want to ask him another question that you know they won't answer in American media, but Tucker Carlson's like, "Gotcha, bitch."
Yeah, 100%. Listen, we will literally be like, as much as we're all frustrated by people in our lives who listen to Fox News and take it as gospel, we are being led by a president who listens to Fox News and takes it as gospel.
Yes, he's upset with them at their poll.
Oh, very upset with them in their poll, but continues to praise the anchors.
Right? That's because he keeps hiring them to do jobs in his fucking department.
He changed his whole mind about this Israel thing. He has Rubio go out there, and he just loves and they love sitting in the cuck chair. Rubio goes out there and he's like, "We didn't have nothing to do with it. Israel acted on their own." Trump watches Fox News, sees Mark Levin getting all hype and shit, getting all them George Bushy vibes, the fucking 2,000-foot flagpoles waving in the fucking White House lawn. Trump says, "You know what? We did do that. I did that. We're gonna do some more of that." He gets all fucking fired up just like every other fucking MAGA uncle does watching Fox News, except the only difference between your MAGA uncle and fucking Donald Trump is you elected one of those idiots president. So
Ugh.
now he gets to act on his stupid, crazy shit and the bullshit lies they're telling. Just straight fucking lies, the same lies. And all because of this. And they do not care what other people think. They do not care what the majority of Americans think. The majority of Ohioans wanted that abortion to be available when it was needed. That was agreed upon by a overwhelming majority in this state. And they don't give a flying fucking fuck.
They don't care. They do not care about the will of the people. They're not here for the will of the people.
No. They're here to do the will of the voices in their head whom they call God.
This is when we're supposed to rise up. This is a tyrannical. This is the literal definition of a tyrannical government.
You have eliminated all of your arguments for the Second Amendment. I thought they were stupid to begin with. Now you're done. You're just done. If this isn't the one, bro, I don't know what is. You're a moron. Fucking, what kind of libertarian can sit back and watch a man with no uniform, badge, or ID, wearing a fucking hood, remove a freestanding U.S. citizen from the street, and then just be okay with it? What kind of fucking police state bullshit is that? That's everything that a fucking libertarian is afraid of. It's happening. And where y'all at? Fucking hiding because you're chicken shit bitches. Every last goddamn one of you. Yeah. Anything else you want to yell at the state of Ohio about today, Brad?
Oh no, but I just want to make sure that all that it just needs to be a focal point that the Ohio state government is tyrannical. There's no other. That is the word by the very definition. They are no longer working for the will of the people, and this is a very clear sign of it.
It has to be said. I moved from a red state to a blue state. The differences are insane. It is night and fucking day for a regular human being. It's night and day. I mean, just everything. Public transport, fucking sidewalks, a community pool, services, not having this, whatever this is, It makes a difference. It definitely makes a difference. Like, it's not perfect. It's not paradise. But there's fewer potholes.
I hear that.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready for mine?
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay. So the Supreme Court finally made a ruling on the issue of whether or not Tennessee gets to keep their stupid fucking law that says that if the parents of a trans child and that trans child's doctor decide that they will be benefited by receiving hormone treatment, something that many teenagers, cis and trans, receive. If that's what they want to do, well, guess what? Red state rules. Fuck you. So it's against their religion, so it's not okay for you to do. I have here a little clip from an interview on the podcast What a Day from this morning. Leah Littman on the right is a law professor at the University of I don't know, some state up north, and but she's an an expert on the Supreme Court and host of a Supreme Court podcast called Strict Scrutiny. And she does a really good job of breaking this all down because it's not just that they're taking this right away from trans kids, taking the ability of parents to make decisions for their own children. It has broader implications of taking rights away from women, which is, as we've established, something that the GOP just loves to do. Loves it.
Providers, if they come even close to running afoul of the restrictions. So let's talk about the reasoning that the justices deployed here. So
it's
even
bullshit.
A quick reading, yeah, okay, great. All right, end of interview. Even a quick reading of the decision shows the court was circling around questions of sexual identity and whether the state of Tennessee could restrict medications and procedures that help with gender affirming care that was allowed for other purposes. Like, what did they say about that ultimately?
So the court said two things. One, they said this law does not discriminate on the basis of sex, That doesn't make any sense. This law literally mentions sex 19 times, and still the Roberts majority said, well, that doesn't make it a sex classification. Also, the law allows, cis youth to obtain some healthcare treatments that trans youth couldn't. That is, it distinguishes based on sex assigned at birth. That also didn't seem to matter. And then I think in some ways, even more outlandishly, the court said this law does not even discriminate on the basis of gender identity. That is, it doesn't even discriminate against trans kids, because even though the group that is negatively impacted by the law includes only trans kids, it's still the case that trans kids and cis kids can access hormones and puberty blockers for other reasons besides treating gender dysphoria, and that somehow makes it not discrimination on the basis of gender identity. It's super tortured and convoluted logic that basically threatens a lot of the legal protections against discrimination, but that was their explanation.
Okay, that sounds troubling. Beyond that, what struck you most? Beyond that, what struck you about Chief Justice Roberts' majority opinion? Is there anything else that immediately set off alarm bells for you?
Well, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, no, I think that the only thing else I would say about the majority opinion is, in order to reach these really wild conclusions, the Roberts majority opinion had to revive these very archaic and outdated cases on sex discrimination that had upheld laws that discriminated on the basis of pregnancy, reasoning that that wasn't sex discrimination, and in any case it reflected biological differences and biological realities. And that harkens back to a time and a kind of logic that just excused and justified sex discrimination on the basis of biological differences. And so by bringing back those cases and that logic, I think the court has signaled the legal protections against sex discrimination are in real jeopardy.
Okay, the three dissenting justices were
That's part of it. So it's basically a Trojan horse for other to take away other rights, especially women's rights. So this party that claims all the time to be for women is clearly not.
See this being a Trojan horse for taking on other protections against discrimination. Can you go into that a little bit more?
When the court is citing these old cases that upheld laws that discriminated against pregnant people, what the court is saying is, look, there are certain biological differences between men and women that allow states, maybe the federal government and legislatures, to treat men and women differently. The court had, until recently, basically abandoned that kind of logic. So in an earlier sex discrimination case, United States versus Virginia, Justice Ginsburg wrote an opinion that rejected Virginia's argument that the biological differences between men and women allowed the state to adopt a flat-out ban on women matriculating at the Virginia Military Institute, VMI. And so I think the concern is, if you revive this idea that there are these inherent biological differences between men and women, and that is somehow distinct from sex, or it justifies sex discrimination, you are providing a real blueprint for all kinds of laws that treat men and women differently. And it's not going to be surprising to everyone that when you treat men and women differently, it's usually the women who are faring less well.
Yeah, naturally. It's the same way that they try to pass the SAVE Act, the same way that they keep trying to pass these abortion laws. Like they just want this, and it's also not a reliable voting block for them. If they could take away the rights of women to vote, they would also be much easier to control. So it's a power grab in every way, and it's fucking sick. And the victims here are these poor fucking trans kids. You know what? There's probably like 5 trans kids in the entire state of Tennessee, right? Who knows? Maybe more. I don't know. But these treatments are approved by every major medical association on the planet because they are helpful, because they are necessary, because they save lives. One thing that is clear about this fucking MAGA crew is they do not give a fuck about people's lives. They do not want to pay for anyone's health care, anyone's Medicaid, any way they can make things a wedge issue to strip back rights from anyone other than themselves. They will do it. They,
Hastily too. They will do it quick.
yeah, because they have such unpopular ideas. Like this, these ideas are so unpopular that they know they feel that pressure to keep taking away rights. Otherwise, how would they stay in power? Like if people had just believed them when they told them that Project 2025 was the goal and the blueprint, they would have never voted for it. It was overwhelming. If people had voted on a basis of approval of Project 2025, Kamala Harris would have won 70% of the vote. That's how much people didn't like Project 2025. If they had just voted against that, if they had just rejected Project 2025, and that is 1000%, all of these things that are happening is that they have to be able to save us from us. It doesn't matter that these parents have a child they have, it turns out, a pretty intimate relationship with, right? They kind of live together. They get along. They eat dinner together sometimes. They care about the kid. They want the kid to be happy, healthy, and alive. So they
Yes.
take the kid to the doctor when they're feeling fun, when they're feeling sick. They take their kid to the doctor when they're feeling mentally sick, when they're feeling down. They try to cheer them up. When they're feeling hungry, they try to feed them. And Republicans want to make it harder to do all of those things. All those things. For the people, for these kids that they report to love and want more of. Why, they ask, won't people have more children? Also, we're cutting Medicaid that allows for these hospitals to exist in rural counties. You want MAGA women to have babies, but you want no hospital to be nearby if a complication happens. I mean, that's fucked up. It happens quite a bit. I mean, when it comes to the maternal death rate, we are essentially a third world country. Like, it's not good.
It's terrible. Our maternal death rate is truly disgusting to be as advanced as we are in medical.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you have things like this, again, libertarians, where are you at? Like, this is these are people telling you what to do in intimate medical decisions. Do you? I mean, the idea that this is like trans for everyone or some laissez-faire thing that people are just doing for the fuck of it or to win a trophy in middle school is beyond absurd. It is
Dude, it's asinine. They are like riding this Riley Gaines chick, and it was like she was like fifth or sixth place in this
right.
event. Like it was, they actually come on, people.
Yeah. She is not, and
They act like everybody's just going to be trans, like that. There's just people waiting in line to take over the WNBA. Like,
right.
what the fuck are you talking about?
It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And listen, if there are things that need to be regulated, they are. There's rules. The NCAA has rules. The Olympics have rules. You know, you don't need to fucking have all these MAGAs want is another excuse to fondle children in school. They want a reason. Like what's that movie, Porky's? She's like, if I could just see that pecker one time, I know that pecker anywhere. Like, man, you're not looking at the boys' dicks. God, Jesus. I don't get it. It is beyond stupid and so cruel to these kids who are already going through something. It's such a like to be different in any way as a child is awful. I mean, everybody's experienced in some way. Maybe like you didn't get the on-brand Hostess fucking treats in your lunch bag. You know, you got something else, or you know, your clothes were outdated, or you had holes in your shoes, or whatever the fuck it was. And it was awful. It was the end of your life as a child. Now imagine feeling outside, feeling that your body was the thing that was wrong with you. like make that, and even people who aren't trans can kind of relate to that. A lot of people have body dysmorphia, feel themselves too fat, too skinny, look in the mirror, think I'm ugly. It happens to everyone all the time, every day. Now imagine that times a million, and being a child, and you want to take that child's life and make it worse. You want to put them on a national stage and make them a wedge issue in elections. You are some truly evil people. And I'm talking about the politicians. I'm not necessarily talking about the people who are being duped by the overwhelming fucking propaganda that is coming from the right, without any sort of pushback from people like us. That's the problem. Nobody pushes back. Nobody asks the Tucker Carlson questions, right? The basic common sense follow up questions. How many times has this happened? Zero, right? So why is it a problem? And I won't say nobody. It does happen here and there. But the majority of the noise being, all of the noise being made about trans kids is being made on the right. The positive side of that is I think everybody, like, it's becoming pretty transparent now, a little bit too late, that it was a wedge issue, that it was stupid, that it's not a serious problem. And, people have figured it out all on their own. But it is a failure of people who are in charge of these things, like media companies and politicians, who have these platforms and this influence and refuse to use it, to just speak basic common sense, to speak for basic human decency. Civil rights is an all or nothing proposition. Human rights is all or nothing proposition. You can't be upset that one hospital got hit with shockwaves by an Iranian bomb when you've leveled 36 hospitals on purpose in Palestine. It's either human rights for everyone or human rights for no one. When you start taking away from somebody, it just disappears for the whole world. You can't justify it by bombing an equal number of innocent children. It just doesn't work that way. Like taking back an equal number of Israeli children is not going to make it better. It's not. It never does. But that's the fucked up game that we keep playing in life. We have to take from somebody else to make ourselves whole, and that will just never make you whole. Not in politics, not in life. It will leave you empty every single fucking time. All it leads to is death. And these fucking policies that are hateful and pointed and discriminative against people who are going through difficult pregnancies, people who are having complications, private matters, in their bedrooms, in their bathrooms, in their goddamn hospital rooms. Get the fuck out. Get out.
That's it. That's not a
This is,
radical thing to say, just leave me alone.
it is not. It is not. Leave my fucking neighbor alone.
Hmm.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable bullshit. And it's the same, since we're on the subject. It's the same with our neighbors who are immigrants to this country. What is the difference between a hardworking person who has been here for 6 months, who's following all the rules, and a person who's been here for 10 years that has followed all the rules? I don't know, about 9 years and fucking 6 months. That's about it. They're both good people. They both deserve to be here. Everybody deserves a chance, especially when we have jobs and resources that we can use. All we have to do is think ethically and tax some fucking billionaires. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. But this cruelty, this unkindness, it has to stop. I want to mention that since they are also cutting funding for the LGBTQ plus suicide hotline, Canada has again opened their lines up to children in the United States of America. So if your search algorithm happens to bring you to this conversation and you need assistance, the number is 877-330-6366. That's 877-330-6366. Um, that's all for that this week.
How the fuck do they do that? How do they take away that fucking number for children, bro? It's kids.
Mm. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just all so cruel. It's also. We'll be back.
Please take the time to like and subscribe. Thank you.
I hate them so much, bro. Let's do fun stuff.
Let's do fun stuff. Boy, after that, it is time. It is time for some fun stuff. We've got some things. Jake couldn't be here with us, but his spirit is here. So let's start this thing off by seeing what nugget Jake's algorithm has provided us with today. Oh, thou holy algorithm.
Dude, it's just so random. It's just so random every time. He's never sent me anything remotely alike 2 times in a row. Like,
Oh shit! When I was downloading it to prep for the show, I seen his back hit the water, and I thought that was pretty. But I didn't realize that it was a thing that he could have swam under the whole time.
oh,
Oh man, that was good. You gotta laugh. Ah, Jesus, miss him. Hopefully he'll be back Sunday. We'll see. All right, Brad, what'd you bring to the table? Somebody was golfing.
mhm.
And I need you now tonight. I fucking need you more than ever.
I'll tell you, as a shitty player, it is one of the best parts about being in a scramble is like when you do hit that one shot, and it's the one that we need.
Oh,
God, you just, you walk around feeling like Rory McIlroy on a Thursday. Not Sunday Rory, but like,
oh man.
yeah. Oh, beautiful. So you went and played Old Dutch this
Yep,
week? Our
had
old
to.
stomped around.
Yep, said hello to Ron, and
Ah, it's beautiful.
yep, it was great. The course was literally underwater. There was so much fucking water, dude.
Oh yeah. Did it rain at all up there today?
Not so it rained this afternoon, and it rained a lot overnight, 2.5 inches.
Jesus.
Yeah, my pool is like at the brim. It can't take much more water.
Jesus Christ. That's bad. It's bad. All right. Final one. It's me. I had a hard time deciding. I always do.
This is not my fault. I am always acting in self-defense, occasionally preemptive self-defense.
Ugh. Dude, there are so
Yes.
many. They have found a way to relate the government to scenes from The Office so well on the internet.
Oh my God. Yeah. We actually, I do have a second one. This one's pretty good too.
Dude, these are so funny.
It's just a matter of time. Could be 1 month, could be 2 months.
3 months.
Could be.
4 months.
I can see that happening, yes.
8 months.
That's a realistic timeline,
11 months.
perhaps.
Okay, wait. Now really think hard about this one. 1 year.
I could see that as a very real possibility.
494 months.
I could see that happening.
495 months. That's just.
Oh my God. I just can't stand Benjamin Netanyahu. He is just
Literally been going on for 30 years. Benjamin Netanyahu said the nuclear weapon was imminent for the last 30 years.
it angers me to know that the guy who sold me Coke at the bar did 8 years, but Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu just get to run around doing it whatever the fuck they want to. It's just some real bullshit, man. I'm just saying. Uh, just fucking criminals, man, and Putin too. I don't know where we forgot like Putin is a war criminal, but I will tell you that the Russian bots, they are real. And bro, anytime we post anything about Russia on TikTok, that is great. It's hilarious. The algorithm like blocks a lot of them, but they're just word salads of bullshit nonsense.
Yeah,
And from people with no followers, so they're
right.
clearly bots. But they're like, but there are also people who believe the bots, and those people come around too, and they're like, no, Ukraine started this. Ukraine is evil. The people of the people of the fuck, they wanted to be free. They wanted to be liberated. Yeah, listen, bro. I lived through George W. Bush and Dick Cheney. I listened to Donald Rumsfeld. Uh, I don't believe you.
Right. Nice try, brother. Yeah.
I don't
I
want
think
to
I've
hear.
seen this one before,
Oh
and I
my
didn't like
god.
the ending.
No, I fucking hated it because it was stupid the first time.
And we weren't in nearly the same situation even then. Right now, we're $37 trillion in debt. And you're talking about going to war?
Going to war.
And people are
We,
like, this is America first. You fucking idiot. Stop talking.
right. This was the first time the American mainland had ever been hit by a fucking foreign power. First time ever. People were a little testy. 99 senators voted to go to war. Remember when we used to do that? Vote to go to war?
Oh, that was cute.
Happened. But 99 senators. I'd like to know who the one who probably some Democrat who died in office. Um, but 99 of them decided it was a good idea to go to war because everybody was on the same page. This is not that. This is not that. Iran was just, Iran is they're bad people, but that's not a justification to kill innocent people who live in that country. Just isn't. Not a reason to start a war. Never has been, never will be. Sorry. Not sorry. Fucking psychos. Yeah. All right. Well, tell me something good this week, Brian.
Dude, golf course. Hello, come on.
Yeah.
I'm not playing tourney ball this year. To spend more time with the kids' sporting events. However, I did get asked to umpire Slugfest this weekend. So my first game is scheduled for 9 a.m. and my last game is scheduled for 10:40 p.m. So I'll be at the ball fields all day on Saturday with the adults, umpiring some softball. So that's gonna be a good time. It's supposed to get real hot next week, so I might actually get in my pool because it's still not warm enough for me. The kids were in it the other day, but 73 ain't quite it for my
Yeah.
old bones. A little brisk. Little
Yeah, I'm
brisk.
definitely old enough that I like my pool to be pretty much boiling hot before I decide to get in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to see an 8 as the starting number on that temperature before I ever get near it.
Right. Body temperature is 96. I'm not trying to come that far down.
So, but yeah, man. I mean, obviously, golf was sick. Um, Tomorrow, me and the wife are both off, and Peyton's got her last game of the year. Because she's not going to play in tournaments. She's going on vacation to Michigan. So with her team, she's done until they play the all. She plays in the All Star game, which is not with her team. She was picked to be in the All Star game. So she plays that on July 11th, and then we wait for fall ball to start. So,
Yeah. Never break. Never break.
nope,
Youth,
never.
youth sports. Never
Yep.
break. All right.
Eli's schedule for football is bananas on some of the games that we have to travel to.
Already.
Dude, well, right now it's not bad, but looking at some of these teams, the first team they play is a team from Toledo, bro. I'm 45 minutes from the Pennsylvania state line, and they're coming from Toledo to play
For
us.
those that don't know, Ohio is a very large state. It might not look like much on your map, but it is huge. And Toledo is on the other side of that. Like completely on the other side. Like if you look to the right, to the east, that's a little bit off that line. That's where Brad's at. And then if you look a little bit off the line to the west, that's where Toledo's at.
It's
Somewhere,
pretty crazy.
yeah. If you see the words, you should be able to see the A in Indiana.
Right. So, yeah, but some of the games are crazy. Like we're going to the west side of Cleveland for games. We got to go to Kirtland for a game. It's a lot.
Christ,
It's a lot.
bro. After Toledo.
High school football is crazy. Yeah, fortunately they're coming to us, but the fact that they're like sending us that far apart, these kids have to leave at like 3 o'clock to even get to the fields to play a game at 7.
They are children.
Right.
It's not.
So our PTA moms, the wives on the, I guess not the PTA, but like the parents of the football team, they're making a dinner for them to like send home with the other team so that they can like eat on the bus and they don't have to like starve for the whole time. So they're putting a dinner together for them.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I remember traveling for basketball in college, and we had to, because we were a Christian school, we had to play other Christian schools. So every bus trip was fucking
Forever log.
forever. You're just miserable. I couldn't imagine. And that was me as a uh, semi-mature adult, mostly drunk, in the bus, and it was still a fucking nightmare. So I can't imagine. Those poor kids. Good for them.
Right. So, but yeah, life is good.
That's
You
awesome.
know, can't complain.
Good.
Oh, I didn't work today, because
Clearly.
I work on a federal holiday schedule.
Yeah,
So
clearly.
I had today off for
Not
Juneteenth.
for long, you don't. Not for long, you
Yeah,
don't. Donnie
Donald
T's
Trump
trying to
has.
roll them back.
Yeah,
Too many people getting
yeah. That
days
boy
off.
said he said we have too many paid holidays, and the workers agree.
Yeah, the workers agree. You know what really happened, Brad? He hasn't been on the golf course in 3 weeks. He had the G7. He had things he had to do. Fucking Philadelphia Ben decided to fucking start a war with fucking Iran, and this motherfucker is pissed because he hasn't been on the golf course in 3 weeks. Man, fuck you, okay?
Right.
The rest of us wish we had your fucking golf schedule, you piece of shit. Unbelievable.
Whoa, tell me what's good in your world.
Well, life is good in general. I've moved into the new place. I got the good internet. Moving still sucks. I'm living out of boxes. That part is rough. But I got my own fucking apartment. I can travel from the bedroom to the bathroom naked. I can go to the kitchen and get a snack in my underwear. Like, it's pretty glorious. I haven't had that sort of privacy or life in a long time, and it feels pretty good. And everything's coming together, and it's actually a lot of fun to like pick out stuff. I don't own anything, so like everything I have to find at like a thrift store or shop at IKEA or whatever. Just finding the right piece of furniture for here, the right fucking motif for there. So that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. It's all coming together, starting to feel like me, and that's pretty exciting. So
Good man.
yeah, but it's all time. It's all consuming. It's all of my extra time.
Sure, but it's yours,
It
and
is. It
you got some
is.
privacy for like you said, first time in a long time. You earned it.
Hell yeah. Thanks, man. Feels good. Shit with the door open. Yeah. So yeah,
Not
that's
having to shower with your boxers on.
the state of Ohio. Every state is different. The state of Ohio actually passed a rule where you have to have partitions now. So so now, you have some privacy.
Right.
Which is nice.
Well,
Yeah.
that's good.
hmm
Congrats on the move.
Thanks, man. It's good. Spend the weekend. Got a few things planned. Should be fun. Hopefully, once it warms up, I can get to the pool and lay next to it and bask in the sun because I'm a lizard and I require that sort of sun. I have no intention of getting in the pool either, but I do like to lay next to one and
Sure.
collect all of the sunbeams. So, waiting for that. But until then, I've got plenty of other shit to do.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we know what's good with Jake. Jake's got a wedding this weekend.
Heck yeah.
Doing it up.
Kill him on the runway, aka the aisle. Fucking
Yeah.
kill him, Jake. If you are, just kill him, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're listening, dude, have a great time this weekend. We love you. We miss you. We'll see you next time. You got anything else you want to add there, Brad?
I don't think so. I think that's good. Let's end on a high note. so we don't have to.
Right, before I say something,
Right,
fucking
exactly.
brag us all down again.
Yeah.
I feel like we do that a lot.
Sometimes, bro, but
Who's
I just
we?
hate him so much. So yeah.
The royal we. Anyway, follow us Instagram, TikTok, Threads. Like and subscribe on this video on YouTube. It does help so much just to hit that like button. Um, Also, you can help us out financially if that's what you're into. We have paid subscriptions available on Substack. We have all of our material, though, is always and forever will be free. Just like to keep it that way, and donations help. You can purchase a T-shirt that's union made and union printed on our website, derealizationnation.com. They are slick T-shirts, very good, high quality, promise. And we'll ship that right out to you. Um, Outside of that, man, thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of the Derealization Nation. Until next time, I'm John,
And I'm Brad.
and that's what's left.
And remember, kids, the next time somebody tells you your government wouldn't do that, oh yes, they would.